So Newcastle United owners are hedging their bets on the Howes with the promotion of Andy Howe to assistant head of recruitment at Newcastle United. And with accusations of nepotism and jobs for the boys.
With Paulie in the can, there's a new acting capo of his crew. It's Chrissy.
Hey. Let's explore the reasons why the owners have promoted the young talent and what are the benefits. So guys, before we start, as always, housekeeping rules. Just remember, your views and opinions are important to this channel. So don't forget to send in your views. Don't forget to let us know what you think. Share, like, and subscribe. And let's get on with the show. So we're going to go through 3 reasons why the Newcastle United owners chose to promote Andy Howe as assistant head of recruitment. And the first is that he's very good at what he does. AFC Bournemouth fan channel Back of the Net did a fantastic analysis on the about 47 signings that Eddie Howe made together with Andy Howe during his time of Bournemouth. And the majority of those were successful signings. And even those that weren't that successful didn't have a significant financial impact on the signing themselves. Also to know that Andy Howe is the youngest ever person to ever receive UEFA B license at the age of 21, and you can only apply at the age of 21. So there's certainly a talent there. And also to know, in his Squawker interview, Andy Howe is credited with discovering Callum Wilson and Aaron Ramsdale. So he's certainly good at what he does, and there is enormous benefits to Newcastle in terms of making the right buys for the right players. And Eddie Howe, most of all, knows and appreciates that. The second reason is that Andy Howe is trusted and is loyal. Ever since he joined AFC Bournemouth in 2010, he has been working with Eddie Howe up to this point. He was responsible for moving AFC Bournemouth's paper-based scouting reports to online, up-to-date data analysis. And so he's had that intensive experience and has been with Howe ever since. Whereas here in Newcastle, you now have had obviously the recent news of Dan Ashworth leaving after less than 18 months when a Man United came calling. And also, if people remember, other significant staff like Mark Leyland, who is a data analyst who came from Liverpool, also left in less than 18 months. Newcastle need highly competent staff to not only come in, but to stay at Newcastle United for a significant period of time to see their work bear through at Newcastle United. And Eddie Howe trusts Andy Howe to do that. And most of all, Newcastle United owners trust Eddie and Andy to do that, as well as the entire staff of Newcastle United headed under Eddie Howe to be able to do that. The third and final reason is that Andy Howe understands what Eddie Howe wants in a player, and this smooths the decision-making process when it comes to identifying and recruiting a player to Newcastle United. So for instance, in his interview with Scouted Football, Andy Howe says, "We are very big on the British market. The manager will always watch the players himself and will always have the final say. But as a recruitment team, we are heavily involved in helping to identify the right players for the manager and the football club." Some people might say that you need that healthy tension between people disagreeing as to what players they need and they don't want. And that might be a key disadvantage for Newcastle to watch out for. But as of today, this might be the best way forward for Newcastle, is having a team that knows what Eddie Howe wants and the specifics around that. And this might be the most effective way for us to have an advantage in the upcoming summer transfer window. And with internal recruitment seeming to be the way forward for Newcastle United owners, this will also have an impact on the potential director of football that's to come in, with rumours circulating that Steve Nixon, the current head of recruitment at Newcastle United, being lined up for this post. It is no surprise, with all that we have spoken about before, with the owners preferring to having trusted and loyal and highly competent professionals who are here for the long haul in their background staff. And if Newcastle do choose to employ an external director of football, that person would also have to be here at Newcastle United for several years, supporting the current process and procedures in place and taking their time to add or to improve on them. Right, so in conclusion, it's clear that the owners desire stability in their backroom staff, especially after so much instability from Dan Ashworth leaving and other people like Mark Leyland leaving. They want stability in order for them to build the club and get Newcastle into a financially competitive area and compete with the Premier League rivals.
The people don't believe in maybe the money we don't have.
The Howes, both Eddie and Andy Howe, have an approach that suits the way the owners want to work currently. They want to bring in young, hungry players with a good attitude and develop them over time. And in the current state of where Newcastle are, this suits the owners down to the ground. But they need people who are willing to stay at Newcastle over a long duration of time and build the club up. My only concern is that there has to be a healthy tension between the manager, the sporting director, and the scouts. I think this brings out the best in terms of decision making within the club. But who's to say that isn't already happening among Eddie Howe, Andy Howe, and Steve Nixon and others involved? And that's the reason why they trust each other in the first place and why Eddie Howe insists on having this particular team around him. All in all, I think the club is heading in the right direction. Whether Eddie and Andy Howe bring trophies to the club remains to be seen. But even if they don't, I think they're laying the foundations for the next people to come along and take the club forward. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, guys, take care and God bless.